So we mentioned agency so many times today. David, as someone who runs an educational company, what would be your advice for people who want to work on their agency? How do you even teach your kids agency?
It's a really good question. The research, I've looked into it a lot, is not quite there yet. So we don't know exactly how to do it. We have hypotheses, and if you break down agency into individual parts, we then have clues for it. So, for example, we know to be able to feel safe to actually take risks is an important part of it. We know that being able to fail and learn from those is a big part of agency. We know the resilience to get back up is really important part of it. We know that there's a curiosity in the world that's also a really big part of it. There's also things of like fundamental needs to want to solve a thing or to impress someone, which isn't necessarily the best traits, but those things drive, if you need to solve a problem issue or whatever's going to drive you to solve that is going to help you, force you to find agency. I think the research I've seen is much more on the qualitative side of what drives agency, things people will say. And there's some evidence for this. It's just weak. It's you want to put yourself in places that are going to be hard and new for you. So you want to get, and that starts as a kid. Right? You want to be in a world that you have the fundamentals of love and food and sleep and mental health are provided for you there. We know also that you can incentivize it too. So I think, we have done things where you get additional comp if you do this thing. Comp does push you to do things on it. But agency itself, from my own experience, so much of life in society, we are taught to seek praise. If you think about it as kids, praise from our moms 100%. And dads. Yep. School, praise from our instructors. Jobs from our bosses. And having agency, and that, to your point, that entrepreneurialism that isn't just for entrepreneurs, it's almost a rejection of that societal value or push to be praised. I remember when I started Masterclass, everybody told me it was an impossible idea and a bad idea. And that was really hard for me, for somebody who sought praise for most of my life. But then what I had to realize and change was if you have an idea that everybody thinks it's good, it's probably not a good idea. And that you actually, to have agency and to be an entrepreneur, you have to chase what other people think is actually impossible. And then now as an entrepreneur, when somebody says something's impossible, I'm like, ooh.
Like, oh, that's what I'm going to do.
Like, I'm going to dive more into that. Right? And so I think it's like a fundamental shift, and it comes from a lot of things that, like, I wish I knew if I teach you these 4 things, you're now going to have high agency. It's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Totally. I think you said it beautifully. Yeah.
You have this aspect of, which I feel like is an aspect of agency, independent thinking. You wrote this Substack where you're teaching people to like switch everything off, make your own decisions, and generate your own thoughts. What I feel like, as someone who's been taught to respond to praise, it's so scary. Because if it's contrarian to most of your friends, and you like come out with this opinion and they disagree with you, how do you train that muscle? Because I feel it's so important for agency as well.
Wow, this question goes into the heart of family values. How do I personally train that muscle for me, my kids, my students? Is everything David said. It's encouragement, is as simple as don't be lazy.